This day 586 of the Aruch Shulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming share more of the Aruch Shulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. Be very greatly appreciated. Today we are doing Siman Shimei. Again, Sif Tezayin to Sif Kol Gimel. Tezayin. Because I've been able to say the Sif Tezayin. The issue in the Chol B'Shem Shishim Ribo opening Bo B'Choyam and Rosh Hashanah. Ad Kan L'Shoino. Some people say that if you don't have 600,000 people going on a thoroughfare every day, it's not Rosh Hashanah. To writes Rosh Hashanah Rechovos Shvakim Rechovim Tezayin Tezayin Amma. Streets and marketplaces which are 16 by 16 amos, obviously 16 by 16 is going on the marketplace. Flush Mishal Lashar, and they are run straight and through gate to gate. Shishim Riba over about 600,000 people pass through it. Ad Kan L'Shoino. So that was Rashi Be'ervin. It's opinion Rashi. They came to Kol Niyah Shabbos opinion Mishkan. Since all the matter of Shabbos in the Mishkan, but Dumi the Diglei Midbar. It to be similar to the Midbar Shayusham Shishim Riba, the 600,000. There were many more people because there were 600,000 only the males from 20 to 60. We only learn for that which is explicit in the Pasuk. Moshe has a different explanation of that. Moshe Feinstein says that if you have 3 million people, like they had in the Midbar, approximately, then you have 600,000 people in the streets at frequent intervals. So it was like 1/5 the population is going to often be found in the streets. So Moshe holds that you take all the streets together, not just one street. So that's how he explains 600,000. There are Rishonim agree to the Shita of Rabbi Chokim, many argue. Gamarifa Ramam, the Rifa Ramam also mentions 600,000. The Gam Bashas, Bavli Yerushalmi, Lowe's cards and Beferish is not explicit in the Bavli Yerushalmi, the Shita. Yudzayin. Shita Zu. Based on this opinion, however, have a kol heter are all the heter it's the whole heter to build an erev in our countries. Because in all of our cities, able Shishim Ribo. I'm sorry, and Shishim Ribo over there are 600,000 people who pass through. Then Rosh Hashanah, not like Rosh Hashanah, that's why the Tzuras HaPesach, the frame of the framework of the doorway, the works is effective. The Shita B'Shoina, because according to the first opinion, came to Chavashon Rechavim Tezayin Amma, since our streets are 16 amos wide, and Shum Het, there's no leniency. They Rosh Hashanah Gomer, they would be complete Rosh Hashanah. Tichid losses, and they require doors. The Shani knows that these doors should be locked at night. Mush Kosavim. The name before Shulchan Aruch, because the Rova posting serving Kashita Zu, the commentaries on the Shulchan Aruch, including the Mishnah Berurah, who, according to the source we saw, which I forgot who it was, says that the Aruch did not have Chelek Dal Mishnah Berurah, so he certainly does not quote him here. But according to Shulchan Aruch, because the Rova posting serving Kashita Zu, most of the poskim hold like the Shita, you don't need 600,000. The Reb Nachum Kosher, in his book, in his sefer on the Erev in Manhattan, says that he counted the Rishonim, and there are more Rishonim hold you need 600,000. Okay, so it obviously has to do with who's the Rishon, which manuscripts are available, and so on and so forth. The name of first issue of Amnam Mechamim Gedolim Yador Shulfanenu. Risholam. There's one great person in the previous generation who made thunderstorms in the world. Arivin Shalanu and our Erevin. Clearly shows those who forbid are many more than those who permit. But the Shulchan did not see them because they weren't printed in their day. I am assuming it's referring to the Mishkas Yaakov. Yeah, he's going to bring down Mishkas Yaakov later on. Okay, yes. Those who are lenient, among those who are counted by the Aruch Shulchan. Mekilim Hema Sefer Chuma, Vasmak, Rami Rutenberg, Varosh, Vatur, Home Dumshitas Rashi. They all follow Rashi. Also, those who forbid, Hema Rifa, Rambam, Reinu Tam, Varashban, Varavon, Varamban, Varashba, Varifa, Varan, Magid Mishnah, Varivash, Vikami Balitesis, and Sada Balitesis, Harash Harishon, I think that's the Rashi Mishans, but I'm not sure. V'riva v'riha Levi haram v'riaz, and this indeed is often the Mishnah Yaakov in the Kotes. The Gam Amarashal b'yam sheshloma beitza ichrias lo kashita zu. Marashal also holds not like the opinion that you need 600,000. Yudches uvad zerich levari the Gam kamanos Rashi eno sheshishim ribo brimbo tamid. They also explain that Rashi cannot mean you need 600,000 people every day, which is simple understanding Shulchan Aruch. To tell Dover Shiev Shar, or not, or it's not possible. You can't. Nehemiah should talk Chilul Shabbos, because Nehemiah, who cried out on Chilul Shabbos, may have also come Mem Chilul Yerushalayim Shabbos, when they used to bring all sorts of things to sell in Yerushalayim on Shabbos. It goes to Gzeirus L'Tiknu HaKonos, and they made decrees of all sorts. Only 40,000 people who came back with as a Nehemiah to Eretz Yisrael. Isser Karmas Rabbanim would be that on the prohibition of Karmas is only the Rabbanim. He reached Kokach. He made so much noise. Leagues or Gzeros Alzeh made decrees on this. Kavan should say Derem Bush Ram Shia Becholis La Borbo Shigam Shishimibo. Rashi really means it should be a highway which goes through the city, and it could contain 600,000. As opposed to small streets, which are within the city, and they don't go on to other cities outside. Even if they're 600,000 wide, presumably. The Bir Alocha brings several Perushim from the Rishonim in the Rashi to say that it's not Kipshuto. Rashi doesn't mean like a simple meaning, but he doesn't distinguish between Hotzah and Achnasa and the din that any Rosh Hashanah Miservis of Lassos. I know what he's referring to here. Anyway, be it as it may. You can call it Drachim Shalom Hem Rosh Hashanah. All of our Drachim are Rosh Hashanah. All the major thoroughfares. Abba Kapanim Mamul Arichos. But what good is going to do to talk about this at length? Eruvin have been widespread through all the seasons of Israel for many hundreds of years. For Rakas Machet Rezen, only based in the sector of 600,000. Wow. And so if a voice came out from Shemayim and said, Halacha is like the Shita. It's like Chazim Amadvar. If the Olam is noyeg this, then it must be that Kodesh Baruch Hu's maskim al yadeim. We come to impede people from carrying. It's not just who won't listen. Will look like we're insane. This is expanded throughout all of Israel. And in the poskim today, we don't have any. It's just around Makbarim who goes Ba'olam. In other words, according to poskim, that only needs 600,000. There are very few cities which have 600,000. However, nowadays it's not so simple because nowadays we have great metropolitan areas which they didn't have at the time of the Aruch Shulchan necessarily. And he says in our cities, in the Vardak, there weren't 600,000 people. It's a mitzvah and mandatory to be mitzvahs and klai Yisrael. I want to come up with some sort of heter. I'm not sure. He just said 600,000 seems to be like a Bosco came out, but he's not obviously not fully comfortable with that. So he's going to come up with an additional heter. We shall see. The Shabura's position is that you can't protest against those who are leaning about Erevin because it's not a Das Yachid, but a Baal Nefesh Yachmir La'atzmo. Baal Nefesh should be Machmir. Your test, and this is the Aruch Shulchan here is pretty well known, pretty famous. There's a unique sheet in which is Sarabim. The only direction, Dactic Reish Perkazorik, when we infer from the beginning of the Perkazorik. Shas has Hechak Sivi Yotzah B'Torah. Where's Yotzah? Written in the Torah, they're not allowed to carry things in and out of Rosh Hashanah through Rosh Hashanah. Rabbi Yechanan, Amar Rabbi Yechanan says, "Paul says, Vaytzah Moshe v'Yir Kol Machane Ish V'Isha V'Goyim Rabbi Kol Ami Avi." Moshe said they should desist from bringing things for the Mishkan because they had enough stuff. Moshe Echonavo, where is Moshe? Where did Moshe reside? Where was he sitting? Machne Leviah, in the camp of Levi. Machne Leviah, which is a rabbi, Muhavoi, and Machne Leviah is just a rabbi. Why should you come and say Moshe Rabbeinu? Because everybody would be by Moshe Rabbeinu. Come Yisrael, well, Tafiku says him, Ditchum Yalechem, Shusram Ayin Sham. So even though the simple meaning of the pasuk is that it's talking about not no longer not bringing on a weekday any more material to the bed to the Mishkan because he didn't need any more, but we understand this, says the Shas, as it's telling us about Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Hashanah as well, not to take out from Rosh Hashanah to Machne Leviah, which is Rosh Hashanah. The Machne Yeshlav. So we have to understand. My ear the Machne Leviah have Rosh Hashanah. Why? What do you say on Machne Leviah Rosh Hashanah? All right, call Machne so Rosh Hashanah. All the Machne so Rosh Hashanah. The Machne so have a Gil Parsos. The Machne so was 12 meal by 12 meal. The Chol Machne Yisom Sudar, and all the camp was arranged called Golim for all the Shvatim. Elim Min, Elim Small. These on the right, these on the left. Come before by Torah. Chol HaMachne Yisom Esrivu, and the whole encampment was in a square. They called Machne Rosh Hashanah, so all the camp was in Rosh Hashanah. Mari Machne Leviah, why specifically Machne Leviah? This you cannot say. The Be'emes Hakavana came, that this is in fact what it means. The Tegel should see Me'olim, merely when they took out of their own tents into the pathways which led to the Mishkan, to the shade to Machne Levi, Hotim Shus Yachid Shus Rabim, they took out from Shus Yachid in their houses to Shus Rabim out on the street. Okay, Lama Lo Hakdama, because that was the case. Why would the Gemara preface its discussion with Masha Machne Leviah versus Rabim with the fact that Machne Leviah is Rosh Hashanah? But furthermore, about Mechlok Machne Leviah, Machne Yisrael. And so I said, that's the case. How is the Gemara drawing a distinction between the Machne Leviah, which it says Rosh Hashanah, and Machne Yisrael, which it seems to indicate it's not. The Balim at some Shita, the Gamma O Shosha Moshe Rabbeinu Rosh Hashanah can't be talking about Moshe Rabbeinu's tent. That for sure is not Rosh Hashanah. And if you hold that all the streets are Rosh Hashanah, so it has nothing to do with being by Moshe Rabbeinu and Machne Leviah. Therefore it seems the Inyan Rosh Hashanah came. This is how we understand Rosh Hashanah. The Elios Be'ir Rak Rosh Hashanah Echad. There can only be one Rosh Hashanah in the city. The Shnei Tzorei Ir to two sides, on both sides, one on each side of the city. Mizrach Marav, east and west. And another one, another two, north and south. Ukishmo Kainhu, and like its name, although I'm not sure what it means. Could be means the two Rosh Hashanah, one for east and west, one for north and south. But in any event, Ukishmo Kainhu, Shazam Makom Urushush Shakola Rabbi Shashokli Makom. It's like a mall. All the masses who live in this place, Pony Masham, they go there, Velo Makom Achin, to another place. It's like by them, all the cities are made streets. We're talking about some within the streets. So you are Bei Chatzerim. Within every street there are many courtyards. And in the courtyards, many houses. And the streets or alleys which led away from these chatzeros were closed on three sides. But in the middle of the city, there was a great street into which all the side streets entered. By some 11 flashes, it was open on both sides. Anyone wanted to go to another city, he had to go out through this highway. He didn't have any other way to get out of the city. There was also a great plaza. So in other words, what he's saying is that before he said, I misunderstood what he said before. He said there's just one Rosh Hashanah which goes east to west, and the Rosh Hashanah which goes north to south, not on the east and on the west, and on the north and on the south. But there's one major highway which is going to lead east-west, and one major highway which is going to lead north-south, which is the focal highway on which everything goes in and out of the city in the different directions. It could be less, could theoretically be more, but the generally speaking, says they're going to be, in order, since you have to go in four directions, four major highways, actually two major highways, one east-west and one north-south. Besides that, there was also a large plaza. Everybody used to gather for for commercial activity. Zeu Shishini Baraisa, Ezu Shasarabim, the Baraisa says, what's Shasarabim Klamar Mokam HaEchad, the one place Sharabim Plan Sham, where all people turn, Schatiov, the highway, Uplatiov, the plaza. But if the city is not made in that way that there are dead-end alleys all over the city, closed on 3 sides, like you said, but they're not, all of the streets are open to all 4 directions of the world. Somebody who lives in this street goes to another city through this street, and we should somebody lives in another street, goes out through his street. And so to all the cities, and so all the streets. You can aim a come she created love of Shusarabim. There's no place to call Shusarabim. There's no place where everybody gathers. Mishnah Berurah says that only those who hold that Rishus Harabim is that unless 600,000 people pass through it, only going down as a two as a pass out work in our streets. Because Mishnah Berurah would hold that according to the Rambam at all, any street which is not most wide, since it doesn't have this concept of the central street being Rishus Harabim and the side streets not being Rishus Harabim, like the Aruch HaShulchan, and then he's saying that the streets which go out of the city independently can't be Rishus Harabim because it has to be that they all traffic goes out on specific streets. So we obviously hold every street. It's not Rishus Harabim. In fact, Rav Moshe held that way as well. Every street in Rishus Harabim where you have the population 3 million, where 600,000 people in the streets, that every street which is 16 amos wide has a status of Rishus Harabim D'Oraisa. Okay, Chafal Ufiza Asi Shapir. According to this, worked out well. The B'diklei Midbar Lohem Avos. In B'diklei Midbar, they didn't have alleys. They had streets like ours. V'chol Shev Shev. In other words, they weren't closed on 3 sides. V'chol Shev Shev Yotzi Derech Malkam Hachem Hashem Sheni. So everybody wanted to either exit, went down to a different exit. Therefore, there was no place within the camp. Which called the Mech, called Rabbi Malchim Sham, where everybody would go, Zulas, Machaneh Leviah, except for the Machaneh Leviah, Shekoy, so you Tzchim Lelech, and to Moshe Rabbeinu. Where all the Jews had to go Moshe Rabbeinu. The Rak Machaneh Leviah, Rishus Harabim. So the only Machaneh Leviah was a true Rishus Harabim. Machaneh Leviah, Achara Egel, is Mechutz LaMachaneh Yisrael. That's interesting. Machaneh Leviah, after the Ma'aseh Egel, I guess temporarily, was outside the Machaneh Yisrael. Because see, Moshe Kachasol, they went outside the camp. Distant from the camp. And there at that time was all Machaneh Leviah by Mishkan, by Golos, and the Mishkan and the wagons. I assume that the Imam Shul agrees that they went back in later on. But he says only there, but the Rishus Harabim, not the entire tent. I'm not sure. Machaneh Leviah is in the middle. I don't think that makes a difference since everybody's going there as well. I don't know why he is mentioning that specifically. Moshe Rabbeinu took the Machaneh Leviah outside the city. That does not seem to be germane. Chabei, so the fee is that etzleinu she'ein etzleinu mevaos el chavos uvlashim. We don't have these alleys which are dead ends, closed on 3 sides, but we have streets which go straight through. All of our streets go straight through. The main city streets in every city. And these people leave the city on that street. The others on another street. There isn't one central highway where people have to go from there and to there. So it comes out to Ein Kam Rishus Harabim. There's no Rishus Harabim. We also don't have a plaza. Even though every city has a marketplace and has stores. There are many commercial locations throughout the city. There is not one central location, which again, I said before, the closest thing we would have that would be a mall. But they had we had stores also not in the place in the marketplace. The answer so it comes out the Gam Plata ain't kind, there's no plaza either. So all of our streets only and all of our marketplaces only have the din of chatzeros, which are open, and or mevos, which are open. Yicholteinu lasos by Meir, we can ever them. Vein said Rosh Hashanah Shem Marvin so Rak when Losos Neulos. There's not Rosh Hashanah which can only be closed with doors. Only further Matzis Midafil no Madelina Tzavach Nasa. Then in terms of taking stuff out, bringing stuff in, loading them karmas, we won't judge them like a karmas. El Kristo Rabim, but like Rosh Hashanah, La Poskim Shem Sichim Shishimibo, according to Poskim, who do not require 600,000 to Rosh Hashanah. Become lenient as for this issue. The environment Rosh Hashanah, which is not, you can't make an aim Rosh Hashanah. That is only in the when there's one focal Rosh Hashanah. Like the highway by them, so it's there was one highway through the city. The Lovishla are not by us, like by us, Harbe Sratios, where there are many highways, and again, highways are high roads. They can have traffic lights and still be highways. Then it's Sratio. That's not considered a Sratio. But seems more like we said before that there's only places where there's a focal point, where that focal point is Shus Rabim, because that's where the 600,000 people congregate. Like it seems clear from the Shas which we spoke about. Machane Levi is Shus Rabim. There's the well-known Chaznish holds that because Oimed Murah Parts that closes off all the streets one by one and creates a chain reaction. That's why we have no Shusran Daraisa. But that is the Rosh Hashanah is going with his opinion that there's no Shusran Daraisa because we don't have those focal points like they had where everybody would gather and which could hold Shishim Ribo. The archetype being the Machane Levi. Chav Gimel, Bemis Yerushalmi Reish Shabbos Oimed. The Yerushalmi says, "Minan shel tzor kriya malacha." How now tzor is considered to be a malacha? Rabbi Shmuel ben Nachman B'Shem Yonos says, "Vaytzam Moshe v'Gomer v'Klei Avi." Same pasuk. Moshe doesn't desist from bringing stuff to the Mishkan. Nimno Amlo Meyotzim B'Tei, and the people refrain taking stuff out of their houses. We think is by giving it to the officials to base them on the Mishkan. Rabbi Chizkiah B'Shem Ayila said, "Afilu b'achnasa shmas mina." This is not just Hotzah, taking out of the houses to give to the officials, but even Achnasa. Just like the people refrain from taking things out of the house, the Yizbar refrain from taking things into the Mishkan. Yerushalmi does not mention the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu is there, everybody gathered by Moshe. So according to Shami, it's possible to say that the entire Machane was Rosh Hashanah. Shami is Fechel Merkez Svara Shnia. Shami have to say the second Svara that that which you can't make an air Rosh Hashanah is only on the intercity road. But seems more likely Shami also is like Arshas, the Gizbarim Mistama Machane Levi. And we assume that the officials were in Machane Levi, it's a Moshe Rabbeinu. And therefore everybody came to the Machane Levi to give their nedavos to the Beis Hamikdash. To bring into the office in the Mishkan. The Lishka was inside the Mishkan.